in the Liberty game, yeah.
Were you able to pinpoint the time in the Liberty game that happened, or you were just?
No, definitely early in the game, but I couldn't tell you the exact play something occurred on, and could have.
WNBA on the brink. Caitlin Clark's latest injury ignites fan fury and boycott threats. The whispers have become roars. The WNBA
And, try to play a little bit better and give yourself as great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
A league riding an unprecedented wave of popularity thanks largely to one generational talent, is facing an existential crisis. The Indiana Fever, against all odds, managed to pull out an 85-77 victory over the Connecticut Sun. But let's be crystal clear, that final score is utterly irrelevant. The real story, the one shaking the very foundations of women's professional basketball, is that Caitlin Clark, the league's undeniable superstar, has been injured again. And this time it's her groin, the same nagging injury that has plagued her.
Your legs, and then today we'll have a practice, we'll watch more film, there'll be more recovery stuff, but like the turnaround time is very quick, but it is for them too.
The internet, as you can imagine, has absolutely exploded. The Queen of Threes, the player who single-handedly dragged millions of new eyes to the WNBA, might be sidelined. And the collective online response is a resounding, furious call for a boycott. Was it a basketball game or a human demolition derby? Did the refs suddenly develop butterfingers on their whistles? Whatever it was, the WNBA All-Star Weekend, once promising to be a glittering showcase, has just lost its sparkle. Stick around because we're about to dive deep into what truly happened, who the glaring culprits are, and why a certain Angel Reese is probably somewhere right now, laughing at emojis. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the glaringly incompetent decision-makers in the front office. Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crossoff, congratulations, ladies. You've truly outdone yourselves. The consistent, reckless rushing of Caitlin Clark back from injury time after time after time has finally reached its inevitable, painful conclusion. To see her tearing up on the court, clutching her groin, is not just heartbreaking, it's a direct consequence of management that seemingly couldn't even manage a kid's lemonade stand without a financial collapse. The WNBA is currently teetering on the edge of an extinction-level event, one ankle roll away from oblivion. It's all fun and games, all minor injuries, until the generational torchbearer, the Golden Goose, is limping off the court like she just stepped on a Lego during the national anthem. And suddenly everyone's wide-eyed, feigning shock, pretending they didn't just actively encourage a gladiator match disguised as professional basketball. This particular game had a little bit of everything. But if there's one word to describe the entire spectacle, it would be painful. Painful for Clark, painful for the fans, and undoubtedly painful for the WNBA's rapidly deteriorating credibility. Clark was struggling at times, especially with her shot, but she was still grabbing rebounds, dishing out assists. That is, when Stephanie White wasn't inexplicably yanking her out of the game, preventing her from ever finding rhythm. It's almost as if some people don't understand that Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She is the fan base. She is the ratings. She is the merchandise. She is the storylines, the drama, the popcorn, and the refund policy all rolled into one dynamic package. So when she tweaks a knee, sprains a wrist, or gets shoved into the bleachers while a ref polishes their invisible whistle.
At the end of the day, I'm here to play basketball, and that's my job. That's what I'm going to do. I was excited. Honestly, the review took too long for me. I wanted to get playing basketball again, and
the entire league should be clutching its pearls. But instead of protecting her like the multi-billion-dollar investment she undeniably is, they're letting her get thrown around like it's WWE night and she forgot her steel chair. The image of her in tears on the bench, clutching her groin, speaks volumes. It's not just physical pain, it's the emotional toll of carrying an entire league on her back, knowing the seriousness of her injury and the frustration of constant setbacks. Here we are again, another injury, another sideline seat, another collective gasp from every casual fan who just discovered what the Indiana Fever even is. Let's be brutally honest. This isn't just about some bumps and bruises. This is about a league that was handed a gold mine and somehow managed to bring a plastic shovel. Caitlin Clark shouldn't be playing 38 minutes a night like it's a hostage situation. She shouldn't be put in a position where she re-injures herself. The pressure on this young woman is immense, and it wasn't placed there by her, but by the league itself and by a media landscape that fueled unrealistic expectations. And for the content creators who dared to suggest she wasn't truly injured, who clearly have no idea what a groin injury feels like for a professional athlete, your ignorance is truly astounding. This injury, which likely started as a grade 1 or 2, should have been carefully managed. She should have been monitored, wrapped in bubble wrap between quarters, and guarded by Secret Service agents. Instead, she's left to play defense against elbows, knees, and officiating that seems stuck in the Stone Age. The idea of her sitting out the rest of the season? That's not a tantrum. It's not an overreaction. It might just be the smartest business move she could make. Because if the WNBA wanted to see what life looks like without its crown jewel, it just might get its wish. And that life without Caitlin Clark is going to look a lot like silence, empty seats, and a ratings chart doing a spectacular nosedive. If Clark goes, so do the viewers, the buzz, the viral clips, the jersey sales, the all-star sparkle. You might as well rename the league What Could Have Been. This isn't about manufactured drama. It's about undeniable value. And that kind of value shouldn't be diving for loose balls while someone swings an elbow like they're swatting a fly. The commissioner has been doing her best impression of a motivational poster, talking about growth and empowerment, while the actual product is leaking star power faster than a waterbed in a cactus store. If protecting the league's most important player feels like an afterthought, maybe the league itself needs to sit out for the rest of the season and think about what it's done. Let's trace this disastrous path. An injury in the preseason. They rush her back to put on a show in Iowa. Great job. She then misses the rest of preseason. Plays in the regular season. Re-injures her quad. They sit her. Then Dana Bonner takes their money and runs, and suddenly they're panicking. Oh my God, what are we going to do? So what do? Bring Caitlin Clark back quick from injury again. Oh, brilliant, Stephanie White. 40 seconds left in a meaningless game against a bottom-feeding Connecticut Sun team, and you put Clark back in. And now she injures her groin again. You guys are truly crushing it this year. And let's not even get started on the officiating. These referees have been letting defenders play Caitlin Clark like they're auditioning for the NFL. One game, she's getting hip-checked into the Gatorade table. The next, she's being triple-teamed by players who aren't even in the frame, all while the whistle sleeps peacefully in the ref's pocket. They say it's just physical defense. But if there were any more hands-on, they'd need to pay rent on the court. The Indiana Fever, meanwhile, are treating her minutes like it's a factory time card. They wanted to win so badly, they forgot why people were watching in the first place. And no, it's not because they love strategy. It's because Clark makes basketball look like magic with a mean streak. The real tears aren't just about a sore ankle or a bruised hip. They're about exhaustion, emotional, physical, spiritual. Carrying an entire league on your back, while also being blamed for everything wrong with it, is perhaps the most thankless job in sports. If Stephanie White keeps putting Caitlin Clark through this, a trade request is not a matter of if, but when. You can tell she's unhappy. Whatever Stephanie White is doing, it is definitively not working for Caitlin Clark. At this point, when we say painful, this is where it truly starts. This is potentially a disaster for the city of Indianapolis and the Indiana Fever. They're hosting the All-Star game. We just found out Caitlin Clark was supposed to be in the three-point contest. And now she's grabbing her groin, grimacing in pain. If she scores 30, she's selfish. If she passes, she's scared. If she gets knocked to the floor, she's soft. If she gets up and fights back, she's arrogant. The goalposts move every single game, and she's still expected to nail every single shot. But here's the kicker. She did it anyway. She showed up. She sold out arenas. She made headlines. She took elbows. And she kept smiling for the cameras. Meanwhile, her teammates were fumbling layups, the refs were napping, and the league was busy posting inspirational tweets instead of fixing the fundamental flaws in their game. Caitlin Clark is the show. You can already feel the panic in the PR offices. All-Star Weekend just lost its glitter. Merch sales are stalled. Highlights? Suddenly, we're back to Team X defeats Team Y in a solid defensive battle. Nobody's retweeting that. The noise around Clark wasn't just noise, it was momentum. And now, without her, the league looks like it's circling a very quiet drain. The refereeing in the WNBA has to be fixed. This has been a problem since Caitlin stepped into the league, and frankly, it was a problem long before she arrived. But the league has clearly shown time and time again that they are simply not ready for Caitlin Clark stardom. They're not ready for the crowd she brings. They're not ready for the revenue she generates. This young woman is supposed to be at a CBA meeting in a couple of days. And the fact that she gets injured with 40 seconds to go in a meaningless game against a bottom-feeding Connecticut Sun team, it gets to a point where anybody has to step in. There's something tragically poetic about it all. The WNBA wanted growth, and they got it in one person. But instead of building around her, protecting her, showcasing her, they let her get battered while whispering about league balance. Sorry, but nobody's tuning in to watch balance. They're tuning in to watch greatness. And if that greatness is sitting at home with an ice pack, then what exactly is the point? The truth is, this was a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and the league fumbled it like a hot potato. Caitlin didn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needed Caitlin. So let her rest. Let her heal. Let the league feel the full, crushing weight of what it means to lose its only spark. Maybe then the next time they're gifted a star, they'll remember that stars burn out when you treat them like afterthoughts. Maybe then they'll consider not feeding their golden goose to the wolves every night in hopes of squeezing out a fourth-quarter highlight. Until then, frankly, we'll all be watching reruns. Let's be realistic, though. We want Caitlin Clark to play. You want Caitlin Clark to play. Everybody wants Caitlin Clark to play. And while she was out, we were all begging for her to come back. We are fans of basketball, and fans of basketball like to see good players play basketball. So obviously, we all wanted her back because the Fever are undeniably better when she's out there. Today, she was plus 21 on the court. When someone like Aaron McDonald came in and played like Clark, she was -9. Caitlin Clark had the best plus-minus on the court, even while her shot wasn't falling. She still showed up in that fourth quarter, and she was the reason the Fever were able to get the win. But at what cost? This isn't just a story about a basketball player.